Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be starting a very exciting reading my thriller arcs vlog. And this vlog is just going to consist of me reading some of the thriller arcs that I have on my TBR because the stack is piling up, to be honest, and I just thought it would be fun to include them all in one giant reading vlog. So I have 3 arcs that I specifically want to get to in this vlog, but there might be some other thrillers included. I'm not too sure yet. We're just gonna have to see how it goes. But the 3 books that I definitely do want to include in this vlog include Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. This is a thriller by one of my favorite authors that goes on sale in October on the 13th, and so this is definitely one that I'm planning on reading for this video. I'm also planning on reading The Shadows by Alex North. This one actually does go on sale in July, so perfect timing. And I am going to be buddy reading this one with Heather from Bookables, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, we're going to be reading this one first thing in July. I think on July 1st we're starting it. And then I would also like to include Behind the Red Door by Megan Collins, because this one goes on sale August 4th. Is another thriller author that I've previously enjoyed a book from. I read The Winter Sister from this author last year and I really enjoyed it, so I would like to get to this one. And I think I want to read these 3 books in this video because these are all authors that I've read before, so I kind of have an idea of what to expect. Then I do still have this stack of thrillers as well that I would like to get to very soon, so I mean, there could be some other stuff included in this vlog. 2 other arcs that I have are Hurry Home by Roz Ney, and this one goes on sale in July, so like I should probably get around to reading this one as well. And then I also have Little Disasters by Sarah Vaughan, and this one goes on sale August 18th, so I feel like this is another one that I could get around to this week. But I did want to let you know that last night I started Invisible Girl and I got 54 pages into it, so not too far yet. This one is kind of already feeling similar to Watching You by Lisa Jewell because of the way that it kind of like follows this small town, it seems like, and there's this like creepy ass neighbor that's across the street. I don't know, and so like the vibes of it so far kind of remind me of Watching You, which I'm enjoying. I mean, I do think the first like 30 pages of this book were kind of slow and it was like really hard for me to get invested into the story, but now that we're about 50 pages into the book, it's starting to pick up and it's starting to get interesting, and I'm like, okay, where is this going? So I think I'm gonna enjoy this one. I'm hoping to read some more of it today. Hello there, it's the next morning, and last night I got to part 2 of Invisible Girl, which puts me at about 115 pages in or so. I'm really starting to enjoy it now. Like, what the heck? We got introduced to this character named Owen now, and I feel like I've started to make a list in my phone of all the different characters in this book because there's so many characters. His character is so fucked up and like weird. I just wanted to update that I am currently at work. I had my break earlier this afternoon and I was able to get to page 174 while I was on break, and now I'm just kind of sitting in the office at the end of my shift because I'm letting one of the other crew members practice a shift leading closing shift, so it's within the last hour of work right now. So I'm just gonna be chilling here in the office reading for the last hour before I go home. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying this book now. Like, it's so good.
Glance. Probably looking for a message from me. From Lucky. That's good. I turned back to canvas. Fuck, my heart's going crazy.
Hello, I just wanted to quickly update that while I was at work, I got to page 236. So I only have about like 120 pages left. So I'm gonna try to bust this out tonight. I'm still really enjoying this. I even made a little prediction while I was reading this in the office at work. So we'll have to see if my prediction is right. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of the show Defending Jacob, which was also inspired by a book. But in this one, it's like a teenage girl is going missing, whereas in Defending Jacob, a teenage boy is killed. But it's kind of like a similar vibe where like everyone in the neighborhood is like suspecting different people and things, and there's this like creepy neighbor dude like in that show, and like, I don't know, it kind of is giving me that vibe, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna try to finish it tonight. Also, this is completely unrelated to this vlog, but look what I just got in the mail today from HarperCollins. And I'm so mad that I got this today because I was like hoping it would come during Romanceathon, you know, because I really did want to read this during Romanceathon. But of course, it has to come when I'm trying to do thrillers now. And I think it's hilarious that like the entire week of Romanceathon, I kept getting thrillers in the mail. And now I'm actually getting a romance that I want to read in the mail. And if you didn't know what this one is, this is a young adult female-female romance that just looks like the cutest thing ever. Like, isn't this the most beautiful cover you've ever freaking seen in your whole life? All right, time to finish Invisible Girl. hello there. It is the next morning, and last night I did manage to finish Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell, and I really enjoyed this. I'm kind of torn between giving it a 4 or a 4.5 star. I don't know exactly where it lands for me yet as far as the rating. Really enjoyed this book. I was wrong about my prediction, so that makes me happy. And I feel like Lisa Jewell is really good at writing character arcs, because I feel like a lot of times in thrillers, authors only care about writing good thrills, and then after all the thrills are over, usually the book just kind of like ends. But I love that Lisa Jewell really takes the time to give all of her characters really good character arcs. Like, I think that's something she does really well in comparison to other thriller authors. And I really enjoyed the ending of this book. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of the reveal, I guess, like the final like twist or whatever. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I love the very end of this book because it leaves you with just a little something, you know? The only reason why I'm debating between 4 and 4.5 stars is because I didn't enjoy this one as much as my two favorites from her, which is Then She Was Gone and I Found You. But I did enjoy this one more than Watching You, which is one of her other books. I think I gave that one 4 stars. So like, I enjoyed it more than that one, but not as much as her other ones that are my favorites from her. But yeah, I was really surprised by this. I really enjoyed reading from so many different points of views, because we read mainly from 3 different points of views and like different timelines as well, because we follow from the girl Sapphire's point of view in the past, and then we follow the present day chapters of Kate and Owen. And Owen was a very frustrating character to read from his point of view, but it was also very interesting. He's like that point of view that you like can't stand the character, but you just still read because you're like, what the heck is gonna happen? And yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So another great book from Lisa Jewell. I'm happy about it. This afternoon I'm gonna be jumping into The Shadows by Alex North, because I'm gonna be buddy reading this one with Heather from Bookables. So I'm super excited to be buddy reading this with her. And I'm really curious how I'm gonna feel about this book, because I wasn't a huge fan of The Whisper Man. I think I got like 200 pages into The Whisper Man before I DNF'd it, because I wasn't a huge fan of the detective point of view in that book. So like, we'll see. Hopefully this one will work better for me. I'm kind of nervous about it, but also I'm excited because wow, this cover is so beautiful and creepy, and this is like, this description kind of appeals more to me, I think, than Whisper Man did. I don't know. I'm excited about it. So this one will be the next thriller that I'm reading. So I'm just sitting here reading The Shadows, and I'm only on page 42, but I think this book just spoiled something about The Stand by Stephen King. So that's not cool. Hopefully I forget about that by the time I eventually read The Stand, because I'm not planning on reading that anytime soon. But still, you can't just spoil another book like that. What the heck? Okay, he also just low-key somewhat spoiled Pet Sematary and The Shining, like back to back, and he's having a conversation with a girl in his class about what the best Stephen King book is, and he said it's The Shining, and then she said Pet Sematary, and he said Pet Sematary is terrible, and then he goes on to explain why it's terrible, kind of spoiling the book. And also, I'm mad because The Shining and Pet Sematary are both great, and Pet Sematary is my favorite book, so this main character can fuck off. It's about 11:20 at night now, and I only got to page 86. I was planning on reading this like all afternoon today, but I honestly just kept getting distracted by my phone and by YouTube and by so many things. And then my sister ended up getting home a little earlier than I expected her to, and so we made dinner and we were just like watching TV and stuff. So I haven't read as much as I wanted to, but I did get to the end of part 1, and the ending of part 1 was really good, and I really like the direction that this book is going in. I've been texting back and forth with Heather like all afternoon, and we both agreed that this feels very like Slender Man vibes, which is something that I wasn't really expecting. Like, I knew this book would be kind of like scary and thrillery, but I was not expecting it to be like as creepy as it is, and I'm loving it. So far this book is starting off a lot more promising than Whisper Man, because like Whisper Man, I enjoyed some parts of it, but then the detective point of view really wasn't interesting to me. But there is a detective point of view in this one, but for some reason it's not bothering me as much. I'm not too sure why, but I'm gonna try to read a little bit more tonight because I would like to get through a good chunk of this book today since I do work all day tomorrow. Hello. I'm kind of running late for work, so I have to make this quick, but last night I was reading The Shadows. I got to page 177 and I'm still really enjoying this. This book is even creepier than I was expecting it to be, and all of the stuff about like the woods and the red hands and like everything, it's just really spooky and I'm really enjoying it. And me and Heather have been texting this morning too, and she's really enjoying it too. And I'm just having a whole lot of fun with this one. Like, this one's really surprising me. So yeah, but I'm going to work all day right now, but I'm taking this book with me in case I get a break today, and then I'm gonna read more on my break. And I'm like more than halfway through it now, so I'm gonna try to finish it tonight maybe when I get home. I'm excited. Hello there. I just wanted to update that I'm currently on break at work and I've been reading a little bit. I'm on page 230 now and I just hit part 3. And Heather was texting me too, and she also just hit part 3 a little bit ago, so we're pretty much at the same spot, I think, unless she's already finished. But I'm still really enjoying this. I have about 90 pages left now and I'm still on break for like 20-ish more minutes, so I'm gonna keep reading. This book has still just been really good. It's really spooky, really creepy, and I have a couple different theories going, so I'm really curious to see where this is gonna go. I do think part 1's ending was more of a solid ending of the part than part 2's ending, if that makes sense. Just making homemade Rice Krispies. Oh my god. Oh my god. Rudy. It is midnight and I've been in bed reading for some time, but I just finished The Shadows and I don't know how I feel about this because I wasn't a huge fan of that ending. I feel like the last 30 pages the book just really started to like feel very anticlimactic to me. There were definitely a few big reveals at the end of the story and I really liked 2 of them. Like, I was really genuinely surprised by 2 of them because I definitely didn't see it coming. But then I kind of feel like the ending of this book was just very like, there's just something that happens and it just kind of like ruins the like mystery vibe of it. The ending definitely like dropped the ball a little bit, but I still feel like I want to give this 4 stars just because of how much I enjoyed the first 300 pages of this book. And I do still really just like love the vibe of this book. It feels very like Slender Man vibes, and it reminds me a lot of like the Chalk Man and It, just because of the whole like, you know, a group of teenage boys and like they're all up to doing something crazy in the woods. And I don't know, like I still enjoyed it and I do think I would still recommend it. So that's why I want to give it 4 stars as opposed to like 3 stars, I guess. But I just read Heather's text because she finished it earlier tonight, and since she's on the East Coast, you know, she finished it earlier tonight at a normal time and I got home from work super late. But I think she said that she's thinking about giving it 3 stars because she was not a fan of the ending either. Second thriller is done for this video and I don't know what I'm gonna read next, but I'll probably start something new tomorrow, and for now I'm going to bed because ya girl is so tired. Hello, it's editing Gabby here. After editing some of this video together, I realized I never even really told you what Invisible Girl or The Shadows is about, and so I thought I would give you like a brief description of what the book is even about. Like, I don't even know, I was just giving my very vague thoughts about the book without even telling you what each of the books are about. I don't know if I had this just like thought that I had already told you in a different clip, but like sometimes when I'm filming these reading vlogs, I always forget what I've already told the camera, and apparently I never gave you a description of the books. So Invisible Girl is basically about this girl that goes missing. The girl Sapphire, the 17-year-old girl that we're reading from, is the girl that goes missing. but we're reading about her point of view in the past, so we're kind of like seeing what led up to her going missing, and then we follow the present day chapters of Owen and Kate. Kate is married to this guy who is the therapist that Sapphire was going to before she went missing, and Kate and her husband are neighbors of this guy Owen, who is being accused of a lot of different things recently because he recently got fired from his high school job because of this sexual misconduct thing with these high school girl students. And so yeah, that's generally what the book is about. You're kind of figuring out what happened to Sapphire and why she went missing and if she's dead or alive, and you don't know. And you're kind of getting into the psyche of this guy Owen, who is just this creepy, super weird dude that you just like, he kind of makes your blood boil when you're reading about him because he's just so creepy. And The Shadows is about this guy named Paul who experienced something really awful in his hometown when he was a teenage boy, and he has not returned home to his town since it happened. So I guess that's kind of why it reminds me of It, because it's about this guy who is returning to his hometown for the first time since he was like a kid. And when he was a teenage boy, he was involved in this group of friends that were these boys were basically up to no good. Like, they were just kind of like violent and strange, and they were almost like a little cult in a way because of the activities that they would do in the woods all together. And this book just has some really, really creepy moments. It has the vibe of like somebody's watching you from the woods, like there's something going on in the woods. It was just really creepy and really good, but I feel like I just never explained to you what these books are even about. It is the next night now, and last night I did finish The Shadows, and after having more time to think about this book, I think I am going with the 4 out of 5 star rating, because while I wasn't a huge fan of the ending of this book, I still had a lot of things that I loved about this book. I just freaking loved the writing. There was one really good twist at the end that I really liked. Just the whole vibe of this entire story was just so creepy and just exactly what I was in the mood for. It was just a great time, so I really enjoyed this one. I would definitely still recommend it. Earlier today, while I was on break at work, I tried to start Behind the Red Door by Megan Collins because I wanted this to be the next thriller arc that I read for this video, but while I was sitting there reading, I only got about like 20 pages into this, and I'm already just kind of like disinterested in what this story is about, because I kind of like requested this book blindly just because I liked Megan Collins' other book, The Winter Sister. So far, this book is just about this girl who like sees that this woman was like missing on the TV, and then she like thinks that she remembers this woman from like her past maybe, and then her husband is like, no, you don't know her, she was just all over the news when you were a little girl, so that's probably how you know her. Then I just read the description on the back, and it says like she's returning to her childhood home, and she's like remembering this girl, and she needs to remember the past in order to save her in the present. And like, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't sound like as interesting, and so far like the writing just is okay, but it's not gripping me right away, so I feel like I just need to pick up something else right now. I might get back to this one eventually, but one of my friends actually just read this book and she said it was so terrible and she told me not to read it, so I don't know. So I think I'm gonna set it aside for now. And I think the next one I want to jump into is going to be Hurry Home by Roz Ney, because this is an arc that I've had sitting on my shelves for like months, and this one actually does come out in July, so I feel like I should get around to this now. Hello there, it is the next morning, and I just wanted to update you that last night I did get about 150 pages into Hurry Home by Roz Ney, and I don't know, I feel like this book really isn't doing much for me right now, because I mean, I feel like the original reason why I wanted to review this book is because it follows 2 sisters who are like estranged, like they haven't talked to each other since they were teenagers, and now they're like well into their 30s. We follow from the point of view of both of the sisters. We're going back and forth, and one of the sisters works in child protection, and in that sister's chapters we really follow like her job in child protection services and how much it affects her daily life and like what she's actively working on, which is fine, but it's just like I'm not super interested in that storyline really. And then in alternate chapters we follow her sister's point of view, and we don't really get a whole lot from her. Like, we just kind of get her like talking to her boyfriend or husband or whatever, and I don't know, like there's like little twists that are happening along the way, but it's nothing like super shocking or groundbreaking. So I don't know, I feel like this is just gonna be like a solid 3-star thriller for me. Like it's fine, but I'm just not really clicking with this writing very much. But I feel like since it is so short, I feel like I should just go ahead and finish it anyways, just to like see if it gets any better. So I only have like 100 pages left or maybe less, and so I think I'm just gonna try to bust this out today. So it is a little bit later in the night, and I'm sorry if you can hear some fireworks outside, but it's 4th of July, and even though it's nearly midnight, people are still launching fireworks. Probably because it's Saturday today and people think that nobody has anything going on tomorrow, but you know. Anyways, I just wanted to update that this afternoon I did manage to finish Hurry Home by Rosnay, and I think I'm gonna end up giving this one 3 stars. Like, again, there was one good twist that I didn't really see coming, but it didn't really change my overall mood and feeling about this book. And while I do typically love books that follow 2 sisters, I just felt like I never really connected with either one of the sisters, and the writing was just like okay for me. Like, I don't know, the writing just didn't really do anything for me, but I think I am still gonna give it 3 stars because I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to finish the book, and there was one good twist that I didn't see coming. But this is definitely my least favorite thriller that I've read so far for this video. But I would like to read one last thriller for this video just because I still have so much motivation right now to read more thrillers. And so I think I'm gonna try to read The Swap by Robin Harding. I'm gonna read the first chapter on my phone and see how I'm feeling about it, and then if I'm enjoying it, I'm probably just gonna download the ebook on my phone and read it, because I don't know, I feel like Robin Harding's thrillers are always like mediocre for me. Like, I feel like I've given all of her thrillers that I've read so far only 3 stars, but I really like her writing in her thrillers, and they always feel like they have so much potential, but they just always like lose me somewhere along the way. So I'm always like hoping that one of her books is just going to be an amazing hit for me. So I'm hoping that this one will be the one, because all I know about it is it's about these like people, like these couples that like swap partners, I guess. That's literally all I know about it, and I've been really highly anticipating this one, and it just came out at the end of June, I think. So yeah, I think I'm gonna jump into this one on my phone tonight and read a little bit, and I will let you know my thoughts in the morning on what I think of it so far. Last night I ended up getting 156 pages into The Swap, and this ebook has 404 pages, so I got a decent chunk of it done last night. This book is so entertaining. There's just something about Robin Harding's writing that just works so much for me, but I already have a feeling I'm gonna be disappointed by the end, because like that always happens to me with Robin Harding books, so I'm just like hoping that this one works better for me than her other books. But it's so interesting so far, and we get like so many different points of view, and I'm just like really curious to see where this goes. And I always think Robin Harding writes books that are about such interesting topics, because in the last book that I read from her, The Arrangement, it was about like a sugar daddy scenario that went like sideways, and then in this book it's really interesting because it is about these 2 married couples who like swap partners, but it's also mainly about this teenage girl named Lo and how she becomes kind of obsessed with and starts stalking this girl Freya, who's one of the girls that's in the married couples. And the story about this married couple, Freya and Max, like they're both just kind of like, I don't know who to trust. They both seem like they're a little bit unhinged, you know? And it's just very interesting to read about them. And then we're also following the point of view of this girl Jamie, who's like Freya's new best friend that's like her age, like she's an adult. But it's interesting because Lo just like kind of stumbles across this girl Freya because she wants to start taking her like pottery classes, and then they just become friends even though Freya's like an adult and Lo is like 17 years old. But they start like hanging out together and drinking wine together, and just like, you know, their relationship is kind of strange, but it's just interesting because Lo's character just has this really like obsessive kind of stalker like behavior, and I just love thrillers that have characters like that. I don't know why, it's just so fascinating. It's kind of reminding me of like Bad Mommy by Taryn Fisher. I don't work today until 4, so I might read some more this morning. Hello, it has been many hours. It's actually like 9 o'clock right now. I just got off of work for the night, and I just wanted to update you that I did get to page 277 out of 400. I'm like, I think it says I'm 70% of the way done with it, so I only have about 120 pages left, so I'm definitely planning on finishing tonight, and I'm still really enjoying it. It's still like really weird, and the characters' behaviors are all very strange and stalker-like, and it's like one of those thrillers where there's more than one character fighting for the attention of one certain character, and I don't know, it's just very interesting. I love reading thrillers that are like kind of about toxic female friendships and that's just kind of like a running theme throughout this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna eat some food, and then I'm gonna finish this book.
He reaches into his pocket to pull out his phone. He holds it up so that Face ID unlocks it before he swipes up, but the hashtag doesn't seem to know that. I whisper.
Hello, hello. It is the next morning, and last night I finished reading The Swap on my phone, and I feel like once again I want to give this like 3 or 3.5 stars. I don't know why with Robin Harding's books, it's like her writing is so addictive and I'm always really enjoying them up until we get towards the end, and then I just kind of feel like nothing really happens, and then I'm always just kind of like disappointed and underwhelmed with her book endings. And I find pretty consistently with her books that I always feel like there's so much potential with her stories because she has these like really cool ideas for thrillers, and then they just never end up going to quite to where I want them to go. And I feel like sometimes her books are like mismarketed a little bit, because this book is marketed as this book called The Swap, you know, it's supposed to be about husband swapping and like these people swapping partners, and I feel like that's a very minor part of this book. Like, it's not really the central main focus of the story. Like, this story is more about this teenage girl and this adult woman who are obsessed with this other woman, and this story is more about obsession than anything. And then I feel the same way about like The Arrangement by Robin Harding. Like, that book is marketed to be about this girl who gets involved with a sugar daddy, and then like things start to go south for them, and like the whole sugar daddy thing was literally like the smallest part of the book, and then the rest of the book was just a bunch of other stuff. So I feel like in some ways her books are marketed to be about one thing, and then they're not really about that one thing that I was interested in reading it for. And for this book especially, like, I don't even know if I would consider The Swap to be like a thriller. I would say this feels more of just like a very dramatic story to me, because I don't know, like there's nothing thrilling necessarily that's happening, and there's nothing mysterious that's happening either, because it's not like one of those thrillers where like somebody goes missing or somebody dies or something, you know. It's like, it's very mild. It's just creepy the fact that this, you know, 17-year-old girl is so obsessed and showing very like stalker-like behavior towards this girl Freya. And this girl Freya is one of the most narcissistic, manipulative characters that I've ever read about, which made this book super entertaining. But I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a thriller, you know? I guess it depends on what you're looking for when you read a thriller, but I still was highly entertained by this. I still flew through this book because the writing style is so easy to get through. I love the multiple point of views in the book. I don't think I'd really call this one a thriller, at least not until like the last 30 pages when something actually freaking happens, you know what I mean? Something about the way she wraps up her stories just doesn't satisfy me. Yeah, so another 3-star book from Robin Harding. So I don't know, man, we'll see if she can ever write a book that gets more than 3 stars from me. But yeah, this is a wrap to my reading thriller arcs video, even though that last one was not even an arc, but you know, we're just gonna pretend that it is. And I gotta say, I think my favorite book that I read for this video is The Shadows by Alex North, which is pretty surprising because, I don't know, I guess this is one that I was kind of nervous about reading just because I didn't enjoy Whisper Man, so I was thinking that I wouldn't enjoy this one, but I'm very thoroughly surprised by this one. I really enjoyed it. And then same with Invisible Girl, like this is definitely going to be one that sticks in my mind. And both of these, I'm so glad that I ended up loving both of these because they were both some of my most anticipated thrillers of the year, and I would have been pretty devastated if I didn't like either of these. And then I just kind of have meh feelings about Hurry Home and The Swap. I will definitely say that I enjoyed The Swap a lot more than Hurry Home. Like Hurry Home, I'm thinking about lowering my rating just because I didn't really care too much about this story, and I'm already starting to forget what even happened in this story after reading the next thriller, whereas both of these stories are still very strong in my head, you know what I mean? But yeah, that just about does it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please let me know if you'd like to see something like this again in the future with reading some of the thriller books that I have on my TBR. I really enjoyed doing this style of video, and I do have another video kind of similar to this coming soon in these next few weeks, and I'm going to be reading another 3 hyped horror novels, and that's a video that I did in April that I just like really love doing, so I definitely wanted to bring that one back. So yeah, you can expect that video soon this month. And yeah, if you've read any of these thriller books, then please let me know your thoughts, or if you're looking forward to any of these thriller books, then let me know your thoughts on that too. And thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!